Hi everyone, Liz here. So I just left the gym. I was talking to a client about discipline, and we were talking about how you know if you're on the right track, and how you know if you really need to kind of spend more energy on the discipline that it takes to perfect whatever you're working on. And so it takes a lot more energy to be disciplined at first, and then it's something you kind of start to get accustomed to, and then you start to perfect yourself. So it's the whole process. Well, discipline in its simplest form, right? In its simplest form is really a training tool to help somebody gain self-control. So as parents, we help our kids, right? We discipline them, hopefully in love, to learn those skills to help discipline themselves. So it's a learning process. So discipline is a way to teach self-control, right? So if we're teaching our kids and we're disciplining them, we don't want to just say, no, you don't treat people like that, right? No, you don't treat people like that. What you want to do is you want to teach them, we don't treat people like that because this is the way we should treat people when we're teaching respect, right? When we're teaching manners. No, you don't do that. This is what we do. We say please, we say thank you. We talk to somebody, and we use our manners when we're talking to people. So that's kind of how you do it as an adult. Well, when we're self-disciplined and we're teaching ourselves, it's harder, right? Because we don't have anybody else. We don't have anybody that's telling us. We are choosing to be more disciplined. And so how do you know if you are on the right track with discipline? My biggest way to teach and to know that I am being disciplined enough is I feel the opposite. I'm farther away from the opposite that I'm, trying to perfect myself from. So for instance, if you're eating good, or you wanting to be feeling better, and you know that you need to be disciplined, more disciplined, because you were previously not disciplined in your food, and so you kind of got off track. So you want to get more disciplined to teach yourself self-control on what to eat, right? You only know that you are being disciplined enough for long enough to make the change when you feel the difference. So you start to feel better, you start to feel healthy, you start to be aware that, oh my gosh, I have a lot more energy, right? So then when do you know that you're not being disciplined enough? It's when you start falling off again, right? And when you start doing that, you should have a day, if you've been disciplined enough in the first place, you should have a day that you're like, oh gosh, I really shouldn't eat like that. I feel really sick, right? Well, how does that correspond to like a business and our life, right? So the best way is time management, right? Self-discipline on how we use our time. So the best way to know if we are perfecting ourselves, right, and using our time better, is we will notice the difference. If you are using your time better, you will have more time. Does that make sense? So if you're using and you're being more disciplined with your time, you will create more time in your day, because you are being disciplined and you're saying no, and you're perfecting yourself and putting off all those things that used to waste your time away. So you still have the same amount of time, but you feel the difference in that you will have more time. So the last little experience I'm going to tell you, or example I'm going to tell you, is media. So how do you know if you're being disciplined enough on media and the things that you're putting in your mind? So the best way to know is to feel the difference, right? So if you're always watching negative all the time and your life is negative, do you think those correspond with each other? Okay? If you're always listening to positive and you're only listening to positive, okay? Do you start to live positive, right? So I live positive all the time. That's how I choose. I gave up TV a long time ago. I'll tell that story another day. I pop in and out of social media all the time. I strongly urge people to not just be on their feed all day on Facebook, because then they're just getting fed things, and if you're not friends with a ton of people that are positive, you're going to be being fed with negative. So the best way to know is if you feel the difference. So if you're living positive and that's what you want to perfect yourself, and you want to feel good, and you want to be inspired, and you want to just live that positive life full of hope, do you notice the negative? Like, do you notice the negative? Because if you notice it and you go, I got to get rid of that, like that, you know, I don't do drama, right? Or are you always in the midst of drama, constantly living a negative life, and you're saying, I really want to be positive. I really want to be positive. That's where you notice if you're disciplined enough. Okay? And I hope by helping you guys see that it really is positive, discipline is one of the hardest things, right? Because it's the one thing that's needed to live a more perfective life. And I hope that I can inspire you to if you're not feeling the gap, right? You're not feeling the difference, then you really can start feeling the difference and making those changes today. So that is my my little snippet for today on discipline, and I hope it helps someone out there to really start to take charge of their life and make a difference today. See ya!